I'm noticing a major shift in culture because apparently, as you can see, this is getting 8 million views. Like, everyone is talking about it. And usually on social media, you are supposed to talk about people that you've never met, you will never meet. You're barely given any context at all. But you gotta have the right opinion, because if you don't have the right opinion, someone else in the world that you will also never meet is going to be incredibly angry, and he's going to scream at the internet, and he's going to try to get under your skin and try to get you banned. This is social media, right? Like, this is what it is. Like, let's talk about people that we're never going to meet, people far richer than us, but we need to have the correct and compassionate opinion, because otherwise we are bad people ourselves. Like, this is like a Rorschach test, right? Like, they present you something, and it's like, tell me what do you see in the ink blots. And if you don't see the correct thing, you need to be locked up. Now, as I mentioned before, I noticed a cultural shift, because back in 2016, you would have these types of articles where a lady would come in and she would say, oh, I saw a man. Really? And what was he doing? He was aggressive. No, you saw a man that was aggressive. Oh, I mean, we gotta get him fired now. We gotta get him out of a job. We need to transform him into a pariah. I mean, how dare he? How dare he act inappropriately? Like, human beings act appropriately every time, all the time, 24/7. There is absolutely no excuse. Like, no, seriously. You guys are decent people, right? Aren't you guys acting 100% appropriate at all times? Like, you never do anything that you later regret. And not only that, but your family members are the same, right? Like, your friends are the same. Like, everyone is absolutely spotless. They never lash out. They never have a moment where they're screaming. They never have a moment where they get angry at work. Like, no, like, this is how normal human beings are like. But unfortunately, every now and then you do have someone that is angry and yelling. And he is a problem, and we need to cast him out. See, like, that was the mentality of 2016. Now people are basically saying, I mean, honestly, Jason has a stressful job. Valkyrie wouldn't understand that. She sits on a chair all day streaming. I don't even know who this person is, nor do I care. But basically, she is saying that she appears in the live-action Minecraft movie, which is why I don't know who she is. And she saw this guy mistreat some of the crew, and it was pretty disappointing. It was after a very intense scene, so maybe he was still in character. He was just really mad at them that they weren't doing something right, like setting up the shot. He was really angry and yelling. Yeah, I mean, you know, I hated to break it to you, sweetheart, but usually in the movie making industry, you're talking about millions of dollars. Like, if you don't get it completely right, people can be out of a job, families can end up starving, so I can understand why someone is angry. Now, I don't know the context of it, you know, like, there are different types of people that get angry. Some are more justifiably so. But I will tell you this, in a work environment, I would rather deal with someone that's angry than an HR lady that's all smile and kindness and tells you that you're part of the family. But the moment she doesn't need you anymore, she's firing your ass, and you're not part of the family anymore. And while she's fighting you, she's also smiling, and she's looking you in the eyes, and she's very cheerful. And I gotta say, I hate that toxicity far more than a guy that just goes to work and starts yelling. Because usually, these people yell based on professional reasons. Like, if you don't do your job properly, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, yeah, you're going to get yelled at. And if you don't want to get yelled at, then do the job properly. Hey, here's the thing, right? I really hate people that cannot differentiate between character and ability. You're not hiring people based on their character, you're hiring them based on ability. When you're hiring Jason Momoa, like, he is a brand to the point where if you make a movie about paint getting dry, hiring Jason may actually get people to watch that. And when you do that, people get money in return, right? Like, they get to feed their families. It's how a business works. If you hire just, like, the most compassionate HR ladies imaginable, but they're absolute jack shit at their job, and they produce something that no one wants, like Concord, people aren't getting paid. People are getting fired. And it's this inability of people understanding why they are hiring individuals for. You are hiring people because of their talent. You're not hiring them because of their personality. If you want to hire people based on their personality, go find a fucking hobby and just hang out with people that you like. As long as the person isn't doing a crime, or isn't doing anything illegal and is just screaming and is toxic to be around, but the other people aren't quitting, the other people don't want to lose their job, then you know what? That's fine. That's the cost of doing business. I can't think of any job that I worked at where I didn't see someone screaming, when I didn't see someone throwing a hissy fit, or maybe just having a bad day. Oh, but V, do you excuse? Yes, I 100% excuse. If you are capable at doing your job, if you're doing your job better than anyone else, yeah, you got a right to be a cheeky little shit. You got a right to go to work and scream. And if you don't like that, fucking quit. But the mentality that we should actually side with the mediocre person that can't do their job in exchange for the person that can and is the elitist is something that really annoys me. Because this is how you end up with businesses going bankrupt. The customer doesn't give a fuck what happens behind the closed doors. The customer generally doesn't care if everyone at the company is nice, but they're producing a Forspoken. They're not going to buy the product, and all those nice people are going to end up without a job. Meanwhile, if you have like 5 assholes that are really great at doing what they're supposed to do, oh, you're going to actually sell the product, and people are going to put food on their table. Now, if you don't like it, fucking quit. Fucking start your own business. You know, like Valkyrie does it. Like, she's actually streaming herself. She doesn't have to listen to anyone screaming at her. That's great. She's like making the same millions of dollars as Jason does. But hey, you know, like, it is what it is. Like, she found her own path in life. But the idea of trying to tear down other people that are actually professional at their job is something that needs to change. I generally don't understand. Like, look, if you don't like being screamed at, if you don't like being in such an environment, then actually become more competent than the guy screaming at you, and then you can scream at them in return. Like, no one is going to fire you if you're actually really good at your job. And it's actually like a perk. It's a motivator. Hey, be good at your job, and then you can be a cheeky little shit. You can scream. Now, by the way, I will tell you this. There is also a level, right? It's not like an on-off switch. It's like a dial, you know, like there is a level of assholery that's allowed. But after a certain point, if you're being more of an asshole than you're supposed to be, even if you're the best at your job, then other people will just stop putting up with you. They will resign. You will not get job opportunities. Like, your manager will stop calling you. So if that happens, then those people will have to check their behavior. But it's happening because it's a natural thing. Like, it's grassroots. It's not because, like, some streamer noticed how he behaved one day and was like, oh my goto, he screamed at Worko. He screamed at Worko. Oh, horror. Can we not get him fired or something? Look at me. I'm Miss Perfect. I never scream at Worko. I'm always great. I'm always amazing. I never lose my shit. In all my life, not for one day have I lost my shit. Not for one day have I been toxic to other people. Or, by the way, you know, there's this other level of toxicity that people don't like to talk about. Because, like, you have the direct toxicity where, you know, you have a person going up and screaming, which is toxic. But then you have the other person that tries to get the first person fired by selling gossips, by dragging attention to themselves, by trying to manipulate social media in order to, right? I think, like, that is a worse toxicity than the first one. Because at least the first one is direct. You can go to the person and you can be like, hey, you got a problem? Yeah, I do. What's your problem? You're shit at your job. Well, how can I do? Well, do this and this and then I'll stop screaming. Okay, perfect. The other level of toxicity is like, wait, why are you upset at me? I'm not upset at you. But what have I done to... No, you haven't done anything. You're fine, perfectly fine. Absolutely fine. Everything is working. You know? The second level of toxicity is far worse than the first one. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.